Well, the real estate market in Edmonton has seen some positive changes so far in 2023. We're, of course, all aware of the Bank of Canada's aggressive campaign last year to nip inflation in the bud by increasing interest rates. And it hurt for a lot of us, and it brought house selling activity to an abrupt slowdown across the country. Although that slowdown in Alberta, and Edmonton specifically, was much less than was experienced in both the Greater Toronto and the Greater Vancouver areas. I believe that this is directly tied to how overheated those markets were compared to the markets here in Alberta. We simply didn't have the same balloon to pop. So today I'm going to discuss two topics. One, interest rates, and two, the Edmonton housing market. April 12th, the Bank of Canada made its third rate announcement of the year. Inflation is trending downward since last fall, but it's really improved since December. Currently, the bank is predicting that we're going to be down to around 3% by summer this year, and in 2024, they fully expect us to hit the 2% inflation target. However, if inflation doesn't continue to drop, there is a risk that the bank could increase rates again. But as long as things continue on the current trajectory, we're likely going to see the Bank of Canada start to drop rates as early as the end of this year. Most economists predict about a 1.5% drop in the bank rate between now and the end of 2024. Fixed rates have already started moving downward. From the peak that they hit back in November, we're now seeing rates as low as around 4.5% instead of as high as about 5.5% just a few months ago. With regards to housing in Edmonton, we are seeing some encouraging signs. Unsurprisingly, home prices did drop from their peak nearly a year ago as the Bank of Canada steadily raised rates. And home prices are down in all categories compared to a year ago. Townhouses, those are down the most at 7.4%, where detached homes are down only 3.6%. What we're seeing, however, is that there's been a shift in the type of housing that people are purchasing. More people are buying apartment condos, which is skewing the average price down overall. But we are seeing, and there are some positive signs of a pricing recovery. I spoke with Jay Lewis with Remax Excellence about what's going on in Edmonton this year. So Jay, as you're in Edmonton and things are warming back up, what's the general sentiment, or what's been your experience so far this year in Edmonton?
Yeah, hey Josh. So, it's true. The weather is heating up, but so is the real estate market. So, what I've actually started to recognize is that, about 42% increase in the total amount of sales month over the month, this month alone. And we're seeing about a 5.6% increase in the price of the homes that have been sold. So, it is true. The market is heating up. Spring's here, and I think we're starting to see a little bit of spring fever with buyers.
That's awesome. So are you finding any fear with the buyers or any hesitation with the sellers, anything like that?
Yeah. So last month, what we did really see is that, sellers had a hard time adapting to or adjusting to what the market said their homes were worth. And buyers still were hesitant, not quite confident in the market yet. But what we are seeing is that even in, with my own buyers experience, they're being slow to make decisions and they're losing properties that they love as a result. So now we're starting to see some urgency, and they're willing to kind of come to the table with the seller, and the seller's kind of meeting them there a bit too. So we are definitely seeing some change.
So would you say it's more of a balanced market now, more of a seller's market, or more of a buyer's market?
Absorption rates, right, is how we measure that, and I would say now that it's definitely leaning towards the sellers perspective, right? But again, that's just because we don't have very much inventory. And so there's not a whole bunch to pick from. There's some sort of old listings that are, getting stale in the market. So I would say we're in a seller's market if you're a reasonable seller.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Jay. Appreciate that insight into the Edmonton market.
Absolutely.
In short, we are seeing less activity than a year ago, but with a small amount of inventory and buyers coming out of the woodworks, we're seeing that homes are selling quickly and that prices are now trending back upwards. Edmonton remains one of the most affordable housing markets in the world, and it is attracting a lot of people from out of province who want a more affordable lifestyle. So if you've been sitting on the sidelines waiting for things to bottom out, we might just be in that sweet spot where interest rates are a little bit higher still, but have come down from their peak. And you could take a 3-year term, get a lower rate probably in the future, but buy a home before the house prices really start to climb again. So if you're interested to see what your options are or how this might affect you specifically, my team and I, we are standing by and we are looking forward to talking with you. Thank you.